Hey guys, Bo here with the 2024 Nissan Z. I've got a couple quick suspension and stiffness bracing mods I wanted to talk about and show you guys. I should have my Swift spring install posted up soon, just going through some final editing touches, but I felt like these mods weren't particularly difficult enough to do a full install video, but there were some things that I wanted to show you on these. So here we go. So the first part here to doing any of the Z1 bracing is you've got to remove the midsection or the lower rear section of your exhaust. So I've got that down there. Again, install trick, use a tie down, and if you're a one-man person, use a tie down from here to here, and then you can get it all down safely without beating yourself up. So just a quick note, pretty basic install. They say you can do this without removing stuff, but I would suggest you're probably going to spend just as much time putting it in with everything in as you would just be to take it out, and you'd be a whole lot less stressed. So definitely take out the rear brace, the rear subframe brace here, and the rear midsection of the exhaust. Install was pretty straightforward. Because these welds are so thick, I did have to push the bolt back a little bit to shim everything in, but then was able to just push it back through, tighten it to instruction spec, and got that installed. So super clean piece. I could definitely see how it's going to add more rigidity to the rear frame, because this is all probably 1/8 inch steel. So this is definitely going to add from one side of the springs to another, add some rigidity. Sorry if I'm moving the camera around too much here. The next thing I did was the rear differential brace, being that I probably will beat on the car a little bit here and there at the track and with time attacks. It seemed like a pretty good return for my money, and install with everything down was pretty easy. Again, you would have to take out the rear frame and the exhaust to get to the subframe place. I would say the hardest part is you do kind of got to feed a nut on your wrench back through here so that you can mount this bolt here. But if you've got good access, I would rate it probably a 5 out of 10. Everything else on the install is super easy. It's just these two bolts here. You remove the old bracket, which is here, for the wiring harness on the Performance and the Nismos. It includes a new harness, so everything looks OEM and sits up there nice and tight. So we'll get some reviews if I notice any difference drive-wise, but I think it's just going to help with that longevity of the diff getting beat on. So, and then I also have the Z1 rear subframe brace. So it is significantly lighter than the OEM one. I was amazed how much the OEM one weighs. It's pretty heavy. Also, if you don't do this one, if you don't do the Z1 aftermarket and you do just leave the OEM one on there, they do give you bolts, because these are going to sit too high for the rear subframe. So you would use, they give you 3 smaller bolts if you keep the OEM one. I won't need that because, again, I've got the Z1 rear subframe. And then the last quick bracing mod I did was the front subframe. Again, very easy. You just on the rear of the car, you get a wrench to hold the top bolt, pull them out, and then to spec, I think it was 65 in the rear and 36 in the fronts. The only thing I don't like about the subframe brace, but it's not a huge deal, is that you cannot use, and I don't know because I've watched some videos and I didn't see this on other videos, but at least on my Nismo, it had a nice undercarriage tray for the rear, and that will no longer fit with the subframe brace. So it's kind of, you know, gonna get in delete of that place. It not only fits because most of the bolts are covered up, but it doesn't fit because how far this sits down, it no longer allows space for these rear ones to mount either. So I am told by some Z1 insiders that they'll eventually have an under shroud for the Nismo. I cannot wait for that to come out. I love it on my 300ZX. It's one of my favorite Z1 parts. So I can't wait for that to come out. Only other thing I've got to install back here, which I don't have yet, I should have early next week. Since I'm already in here and I have everything removed, I am going to do the rear sway bar. The Z1 looks to be the highest quality, so that's the one I'm going with. I'm waiting on the front until I'm in there doing something else for the front, so it'll just be the rear for now. And then I believe there's one mid frame that has not released yet, and I'm not sure where that would sit. I'd have to look at the pictures, but that's what we got so far. And like I said, I'm still editing the videos, or the video for the spring install, but I have given it a couple miles on the road and love the way the Swift Springs ride. So that's it for now. I should have that video up of the spring install here in the next day or two, and then I'll do a quick shoot of the rear one, the Z1 rear sway bar there, get everything put together, drive it a 50-60 miles and get a alignment done and call it a day until the spring. So that's where I'm at.